Storm clouds outside Miami Beach last month warned of Hurricane Irma's approach. 6 more hurricanes have developed since Irma. RaedleGetty images with Tropical Storm Ophelia's transition to Hurricane Ophelia on Wednesday, 2017 became the first year in more than a century, and only the 4th on record, in which 10 Atlantic storms in a row reached hurricane strength. Franklin, Gert, Harvey, Irma, Jose, Katia, Liz, Maria, Nate, Ophelia. Ophelia, far out in the Atlantic, does not pose a threat to the United States, though it may affect Ireland. But it puts this year in the history books. The last time 10 consecutive Atlantic storms became hurricanes was in 1893, and because tracking technology was far more primitive then, meteorologists say, it is possible some weak tropical storms or tropical depressions went undetected within that streak. There were also 10 hurricane streaks in 1878 and 1886, according to Bob Henson, a meteorologist for Weather Underground. But since modern records began in 1851, there has never been an 11-hurricane stretch. In the 2 months since Hurricane Franklin formed on August 7, Mr. Henson said, there has been maybe a week total without a named storm roaming the Atlantic somewhere. 2 of the 10 hurricanes in that period, Irma and Maria, reached the highest level, Category 5. 2 others, Harvey and Jose, reached Category 4. Within a single month from mid-August to mid-September, 6 hurricanes developed. Tropical Storm Ophelia over the Atlantic Ocean on Wednesday, shortly before it reached hurricane strength. Earth data: the number of named storms so far, 10 hurricanes and 5 tropical storms, for a total of 15, has already made the 2017 Atlantic hurricane season one of the busiest on record, and there is still more than a month and a half to go before it officially ends on November 30th. But what really stands out is the intensity and duration of the storms, reflected in a measure known as accumulated cyclone energy. By that index, 2017 ranks 8th since modern hurricane records began in 1851, and its position is likely to rise before the season is over. This year, Mr. Henson said, the Atlantic has experienced 18.75 major hurricane days, that is, the total number of days logged by Category 3, 4 and 5 storms. While there is significant variation from year to year, he said, this is nearly 5 times the full season average of 3.9 days. All of this leads, inevitably, to one question: why? The link between climate change and hurricanes is not as simple as the link between climate change and other extreme weather events, like heat waves and droughts, scientists say, in part because, compared with those other events, the sample size of hurricanes is small. But climate change is a factor. Catherine Hayhoe, a climate scientist at Texas Tech University, told the New York Times in August that climate change might not increase the number of hurricanes, but that warmer ocean temperatures could have a role in intensifying a storm that already exists. We care about a changing climate because it exacerbates the natural risks and hazards that we already face, Dr. Hayhoe said. That fits with what we have seen this year: a remarkable number of the strongest storms. Warmer waters simply provide more fuel for hurricanes to intensify. Any given season could have waters that are warmer or cooler than average, Mr. Henson said. That's simply how hurricane seasons work. But the ordinary seasonal variations are occurring on top of the long-term warming trend. These 2 elements can combine to produce monstrous storms like Hurricane Irma, which was one of only 5 hurricanes on record to reach wind speeds of 185 miles per hour, and which sustained those winds for a record 37 hours. Generally speaking, hurricanes can develop when the water beneath them is 26 degrees Celsius, about 79 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. Climate change, Mr. Henson said, is increasing both the number of days that present those water temperatures and the size of the areas that have them. The warm waters have combined with atmospheric conditions to make this season historically destructive. Wind shear has been very low, Mr. Henson said, which has allowed tropical systems to intensify without being tilted, sheared, torn apart by stronger winds. And steering currents have tended to drive storms over land rather than pushing them out to sea, creating an enormous human toll. Follow Maggie Astor on Twitter at @MaggieAstor. A version of this article appears in print on October 12, 2017, on page A11 of the New York edition with the headline "Out at Sea, the 10th Atlantic storm in a row to become a hurricane this year."